Hello everybody, and welcome back to another one of those videos where I talk about updates on the Steam version of Dwarf Fortress coming from Toady1 and KitFox. We're going to be talking about the tutorial pop-ups, as well as how the tutorial is going to work. We're also going to be covering a few new UI elements and tooltips. If that interests you, strap in. The first screenshot we have here is a shot of camera controls, one of 4. It briefly highlights that you can move the camera around with W, A, S, and D, and camera elevation is changed using the E and C keys, as well as using the mouse wheel, which you can roll up and down. So elevation, I'm assuming, are Z levels being the actual layer that you were looking at. In this particular screenshot in the background, you can kind of see there's a slope fading off into clouds, and there's also a blocky bit that goes up into the dark. And it also explains some brief underground cameras here in this piece of tutorial. So essentially what that means is that is the layer that you're looking at and how to move up and down. Now previously the way that we would move up and down through Z levels is you would hold down shift and then you would hit either greater than or less than symbols. On this version now we're just going to be using the E and C keys or rolling the mouse wheel. And while that is significantly more convenient, once again I will kind of lament the loss of the old control schemes because I'm not expecting to be able to bind multiple key strokes to a specific task. So holding down shift and hitting greater than or less than seems to be like it's going to be a thing of the past. Granted, I may be wrong there, and that might not end up being the way that it's going to work, but it certainly looks like it at this point. Now, another thing that it mentions here is there are some buttons that you can click to recenter on your wagon by hitting F1, which is true, and that is a modifiable hotkey that can be set to anywhere. There are also 2 other new buttons that I would like to highlight here up in the top right. This little field and this little cave. I'm assuming that this little field and this little cave are the buttons that will take you to the ground level, which is whatever 0 out on the map is on top level, and then the lowest discovered mined spot, which are 2 new hotkeys, which I'm very excited to actually get the opportunity to use, or 2 new buttons, I guess, is maybe the better term, that I'm very excited to be able to use. The second screenshot is the zones tutorial tooltip. So zones essentially are how you designate what room is what. So you can designate bedrooms, you can designate dining halls, pens and pastures, pits and ponds. This is kind of a mashing of 2 tools together. So previously we had the room tool, and we also had the zones tool. So zones were for like an archery range, a gathering spot to gather fruit, a clay gathering spot, a water source, a pit pond, a pen pasture, a dining hall. That was one type of zone. And then we had a different type of zone, which was created by actually selecting a piece of furniture and building a zone out from that. And I have to say that I'm quite happy to see those 2 tools moved into one, as much as like it's very easy for me to be like, oh no, my old control scheme, which I am genuinely sad about. It's nice to just see those 2 unnecessary differences be mashed together into one thing because they are basically the same thing in the first place. So you'll be able to click and drag and just automatically build rooms based off of walls and the shapes. And they do highlight within this tutorial that you will be able to build rooms multiple at a time if they include furniture. So for these bedrooms, you could just click up here in the top left, drag down to the bottom right, and then have 3 bedrooms auto-made for you, and not have to worry about placing anything else in there. It's just a matter of click and drag, and it'll know that they're bedrooms because there's a bed already located in there. Also, if you're watching this the day that I'm uploading it, it is worth noting I'm probably live on Twitch, or if I'm not yet, I will be pretty soon. Twitch.tv/BLINDIRL. Links in the description. And this final screenshot we have here, this lovely little above ground section, and there's a tooltip in the middle of the screen which says toggle whether or not the stockpile can take items from anywhere or only from specific workshops and stockpiles. That is the give and take command, and that is a tooltip, one of 350 that are supposedly in the game so far, and they have been adding them and will be adding more until the game makes sense, or at least that's how Tard words it. So essentially, these are going to be your little tooltips that are going to pop up as you hover over buttons, and I think they look quite nice. I think that they fit the game quite nicely. I think that they fit the aesthetic of the game quite nicely and are possibly one of the most important features that Dwarf Fortress has at this point and is going to get at this point. So it's very, very nice to see. Overall, I think that these tutorials are a step in the right direction, considering I wasn't fully expecting them to go with tutorials in the slightest up until a couple of weeks ago. So it is good to hear that they've gone through that route. And I would like to highlight one final thing kind of about the UI that is new before we kind of conclude this video, and that is drink, food, seeds, and meat are now up on the top bar along the top here. And I just want to say that it is nice to kind of have all of that information in one place, but it's still kind of a bummer that I can't just hit one button and get even more information all on one screen. While there is a lot of useful information up there at the top, I think having some sort of Fortress overview view screen or the ability to make all of the little hover over pop-ups that they've talked about in the past for this top bar pop up automatically with hitting one button. Like as an example, if I just hit tapped Z, which is the old hotkey for it, if I hit that button, maybe all of those old tooltips could pop up. I think that would be really cool. What do you think of these UI changes, and what do you think of the control scheme changes? Also, what do you think of the tutorials and the tooltips? If you're interested in letting me know, please tell me down in the comments section. I'd love to know what you think. And if you want to support this video directly, you can do that via Patreon. My annual patrons are on sale for a year, so if you want to get your name in these credits, it costs you like 20 bucks for the whole year. Second thing I wanted to say is the other way you can support this video is via super thanks. If you go down beneath this video, there's a little heart button with a dollar sign in the middle. Click that. You can tip with a couple dollars via a comment. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you very much to everybody who's saying that this channel is underrated, and I hope to see you in the next one. One final thing before I do vanish. I will be streaming from 9 a.m. Pacific until late on the 8th of June. So if you're watching on the day that I'm uploading this, I should be live right now. Maybe tune in, twitch.tv/BLINDIRL. Thanks for watching.